Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Katie Logan, Heather Tom, will overhear Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, talking to Zenda Forrester, Delon de Metz, discussing Steffi Forrester's, Jacqueline Missins Wood, plan. Katie had no idea that Steffi had arranged for Daphne to come to Forrester Creations to break up Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and will call her out on such. Daphne told Zend why she was at Forrester when she came to town some time ago. One would think that these two wouldn't be discussing this at the office now. However, Katie will see Daphne kissing Carter before overhearing how Steffi asked her to come there to lure Carter away from Hope, so if you would give the company back to the Forresters. Katie will certainly be taken aback after learning this, considering that Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, had planned to work on Carter's conscience as well. Katie will call out Daphne on doing Steffi's dirty work. Will Katie reveal what she knows to Carter as well? After all, shouldn't Carter know how Daphne had used him? Carter deserves to know that truth about Daphne. Daphne is playing up to Carter, trying to get a relationship going between them. Should Carter be blindsided by Daphne after she has already lied to him? Does Carter not deserve to know the truth about Daphne before he allows her to pull him into something serious? Carter may feel like a fool when he learns that Daphne duped him into giving Forrester back to the Forresters. Carter went against Hope and made this decision without discussing this with her. Hope called Carter out on kissing Daphne. Will either of them be surprised that Steffi was behind this whole seduction scenario? Katie was in a relationship with Carter before he and Hope got together. Katie knows about the feelings Carter had for Hope. However, Daphne walks in and simply blows their relationship apart. Daphne had no right to do this to Hope and Carter. Should Daphne not be held accountable for what she has done? Katie will confront Daphne, would likely tell that her exactly what she thinks about what Daphne has done. Katie cares about both of them and hoped their relationship could have lasted. Will Katie try to help get Carter and Hope back together and get Daphne out of the picture? Will Daphne stick around and fight for Carter, or will she pack up and leave? The golden afternoon sun poured over the Forrester estate, casting long shadows across the glistening marble floors. It was meant to be a day of celebration, a small gathering to welcome Daphne back to Los Angeles. Yet underneath the polite smiles and glasses of champagne, tensions were simmering, ready to boil over. Katie Logan, always the perceptive one, stood near the grand staircase, her keen green eyes tracking Daphne across the room. There was something off. From the moment Daphne had swept into town, dressed in designer couture and flashing a megawatt smile, Katie's instincts had been buzzing. Something didn't add up, and today Katie decided she wasn't going to ignore it any longer. Daphne's flawless act. Daphne had been the center of attention since she arrived. Ridge, Eric, and even Carter had been charmed by her sophisticated yet approachable demeanor. She told stories of her time in Europe, laughed about her adventures, and dropped hints about future business ventures. Yet Katie couldn't help but notice the careful precision with which Daphne navigated conversations. She always steered clear of certain topics, particularly anything to do with her family ties or her true motivations for returning to Lay. Brooke, sipping her champagne and flirting lightly with Ridge, was oblivious. Donna, too busy sneaking kisses with Eric, had no time for suspicion. But Katie had been burned too many times to overlook the signs. When Daphne excused herself to take a phone call, Katie followed quietly, her heels soundless on the polished floor. The confrontation. Katie found Daphne in the Forrester study, murmuring into her phone in rapid French. Her expression was no longer warm and open, it was tight, calculating. "No, not yet," Daphne hissed. "They're still trusting. Give it another few days. Once I have what I came for, we can move forward." Katie's heart thudded against her ribs. She knew it. Daphne ended the call and whirled around, startled to see Katie standing there, arms crossed, a cold expression on her face. How long were you standing there? Daphne demanded, recovering quickly, flashing a brittle smile. Long enough, Katie said coolly. Want to tell me who you were talking to, or should I guess? Daphne shrugged, attempting nonchalance. A business associate. You know how it is. Katie took a step closer. Cut the act, Daphne. I know you didn't just come back to LA to catch up with old friends. You have an agenda. And I'm not going to let you hurt the people I love. Daphne's eyes darkened for a split second before she composed herself again. You're being paranoid, Katie. Am I? Katie snapped. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're playing everyone like a fiddle. And I want to know why. Daphne's secret. Realizing she was cornered, Daphne let out a short, humorless laugh. You're sharper than the others, she said. Fine. You want the truth. I'll give it to you. Katie narrowed her eyes, bracing herself. I came back because I'm owed something. Something that was taken from my family a long time ago. And the Foresters, they're going to help me get it, whether they know it or not. Katie's stomach sank. What are you talking about? Daphne's smile was cruel now. Decades ago, my grandfather was swindled out of a design empire he helped build. He trusted Eric Forrester, and he got nothing in return but a handshake and broken promises. My family fell into ruin because of it. Katie shook her head. That's ancient history, if it's even true. Eric has built this company with his own blood, sweat, and tears. Daphne's jaw clenched. That's one version of the story. My family knows the truth, and now it's my turn to take back what's rightfully ours. Katie exhaled sharply. You're planning to take over Forrester Creations. Daphne tilted her head. Not take over. Correct a grave injustice. And if a few hearts get broken along the way, well, collateral damage. Katie's warning. You're not going to get away with it, Katie said firmly. You think you can charm Ridge, Eric, Carter, even Brooke? Maybe you can. But I'm not so easily fooled. And now that I know what you're after, I'll make sure everyone else knows too. Daphne's smile faltered slightly. If you expose me, Katie, you'll only make things worse for yourself and for them. Is that a threat? It's a fact, Daphne said with a shrug. I have leverage. Documents, proof, things that would cause scandals you can't even imagine. If you force my hand, I'll use them. Katie's blood ran cold, but she didn't back down. You underestimated me, Daphne. And you made the mistake of coming after my family. That's not something I forgive. Daphne's gaze flickered with uncertainty. Be smart, Katie. Stay out of this. Katie leaned in, her voice low and deadly. You came to the wrong town if you thought you could pull this off without a fight. Without another word, Katie turned on her heel and stalked out of the study, her mind already racing with plans. Rallying the troops. By nightfall, Katie had gathered her inner circle: Brooke, Donna, Ridge, and Carter. She laid out everything she had overheard, leaving out no details. Brooke gasped, her face going pale. Are you sure? Katie doesn't make accusations without proof, Ridge said grimly, pacing the room. This explains a lot. Donna was near tears. We trusted her. We still don't know exactly what she's planning, Carter said carefully. But if she has some kind of legal claim, Katie shook her head. She doesn't. It's all about revenge. She's here to cause chaos, maybe even dismantle Forrester from the inside. Ridge slammed his hand against the wall. Not on my watch. Setting a trap. They decided they needed proof. Solid proof that Daphne was conspiring against them. Katie volunteered to bait Daphne, pretending to turn against the family in exchange for a fake share of whatever Daphne was plotting. It was dangerous, but Katie was willing to take the risk. The next morning, she approached Daphne privately at El Giardino. You were right, Katie said, feigning reluctance. The Foresters are selfish. Always have been. Maybe it's time someone put them in their place. Daphne studied her carefully. Are you serious? Katie nodded. Serious enough to want a piece of the pie. If you're taking them down, I want in. Daphne smiled slowly. Welcome aboard. Katie hid her revulsion behind a tight smile. She would get the evidence they needed, no matter what it took. A shocking twist. But just as Katie was closing in, an unexpected complication arose. A mysterious figure from Daphne's past arrived in Los Angeles, a man named Julian Moreau. Dark, handsome, and exuding danger, Julian had his own agenda. Katie learned that Julian had once been Daphne's lover, and her betrayer. He knew her darkest secrets, and he had come to cash in. If you don't cut me in, Julian warned Daphne, I'll expose everything. Katie, eavesdropping from the shadows, realized the situation was even messier than she thought. Daphne wasn't just targeting the Forresters. She was tangled in a web of lies, blackmail, and betrayal. And if they didn't act fast, everything Forrester Creations stood for could come crashing down. The final showdown. At a tense family meeting at Forrester Creations, Katie laid out the evidence. She played a secret recording she had made of Daphne admitting her plans to Julian. The room was silent as the damning words echoed through the speakers. Eric's face was ashen. Rich looked like he wanted to tear something apart with his bare hands. Brooke covered her mouth with trembling fingers. Daphne, cornered and furious, tried to spin it. I was bluffing. I never meant any of it. But the damage was done. You're finished, Katie said quietly. Get out of here, and don't ever come back. Security escorted Daphne out as she screamed and cursed, her mask finally slipping away. Aftermath. In the days that followed, the Forresters regrouped, stronger and closer than ever. Katie was hailed as a hero for her bravery and quick thinking. Brooke wrapped her in a tearful hug. Rich offered her a new executive role, a symbol of trust and gratitude. But Katie knew better than to celebrate too soon. In Los Angeles, enemies never stayed down for long, and as she looked out over the glittering city skyline that night, Katie vowed she would always be ready, because in the world of the Forresters, peace was only ever temporary. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our BOLD and BAUTAFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.